Calling to order the Newberg Urban Area Management Commission meeting Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. Start with a roll call.
Jeff Musall.
Here.
Kit Johnson.
Here.
Alan Halstead.
Here.
Brett Beach.
Here.
Bill Rosecker.
Here.
Ken Summers.
Here. All right, approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion?
No corrections or additions, I would move to approve as printed.
I'll second it. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Communications from the floor, we won't be receiving this evening. Moving right to final disposition of agenda items from the previous meeting. Anything other than the hearing? I don't believe there's anything. Okay, docket items none. We'll move right into the public hearing, which was left open. So we're going to jump right straight without public testimony to commission deliberation. Discussion of criteria with findings of fact. Who wants to start out? Okay. Mayor.
Good morning, and thanks for being here. Thanks for being interested. Everybody up here represents different segment of the population. As the mayor of Newberg, I represent the citizens of the city. I grew up on Corral Creek Road. The last little yellow house before hitting Highway 99 is the house that I grew up in. I am very fond of that area of the world. I think where you folks live is a beautiful place to live. However, progress happens, and we have been looking at a bypass that's going on in this area. As the mayor of Newberg, I'm also on the Parkway Committee, and I don't know the bypass is going to be built within the next 5 years. I would say the west end of it is. It's being planned right now. The connection from Corral Creek Road to the bypass or to Highway 99, once the bypass is built, is going to turn left just before it hits the highway. Corral Creek will then go past what used to be the Graves property. And at some point it turns right, and it will enter on Highway 99 as a right turn only. The only access to Corral Creek Road at that point is going to be from Newberg, eastbound on Highway 99. You'll be able to turn right onto Corral Creek Road. There will be no access to Corral Creek Road from the east, I should say the westbound traffic of Highway 99 once it's built. So for all of you folks who live on Shawd Road, that means that everybody that lives in the Greens and works in Sherwood or east of there is going to turn left on Parrot Mountain Road, go up over the top and come down to Shawd Road to get to Corral Creek Road and then eventually Fernwood. It's not a really good design. It's not good for future growth. It's not even good for what will be existing when the bypass is built. If this land is included in the Urban Growth Reserve, which is what the application that we have in front of us is doing, then it becomes the city's responsibility to plan future traffic. If this happens while I am mayor of Newberg, what I would advocate for is if you're in the Greens and heading eastbound on Fernwood Road, it would not go to Corral Creek Road. Instead, it would turn left 100 feet or so before that, and it would service all of these new properties, and it would end up terminating down on Providence or Hayes Street. To get that done, we're going to have to talk to the ODOT while they're planning this road and get some sort of underpass or overpass over the new bypass. The only way that we are going to get that done is if this land is in the urban growth boundary and we talk to ODOT and make a good case, and that would involve getting the wineries out there involved, as well as the other landowners who would then be in this area. Now, as far as growth in Newberg, one of the reasons land is so expensive is because there's a shortage of property created by the urban growth boundary that was established in 1976 when I was in high school in Newberg, and I still lived on Corral Creek Road. The area between the city of Newberg and Corral Creek Road is someday going to be in the city limits of the city of Newberg. There's no getting around it. It may not be in the next 20 years. It may not even be in the next 40 years, but it's going to happen. And the only way that it's going to work right is if we plan the development and the transportation needs for the city for the long term. And that is why I am going to be in favor of allowing this property to be included in the urban growth reserve. The other reason, I'm sorry, I do have two reasons for it. The second reason is that there are two methods to get land put into the urban growth reserve. The city last attempted in 2006 had a ad hoc committee that included radical people like Rick Rogers. Mr. Bridges was on that. Sonia Haugen was representing ADAC. And they came up with a plan to annex that land, and as well as the land that is south of the airport and east of Highway 219, which should be industrial property in the future in Newberg. It has good access to I-5 from McKay Road, and there's no reason that we should not at some point make that land into industrial property in the city of Newberg. So for those two reasons, I am going to be in favor of annexing, or I'm sorry, of allowing this property to be annexed in the urban growth reserve. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mayor. Anyone else? Jeffrey?
Yeah, I'd like to add in, I'm gonna join the mayor in supporting having the urban growth boundary addition, because as has been stated, that all we're voting on is an addition, not on the actual development. And of course, that's a bit facetious. There's development planned down the line and everything. But in my view, it looks like a well thought out and a plan with a vision versus just like a plan to sprawl. And we are going to need land. We need a variety of housing. We need housing that's more dense in some areas, more open in others. And if we're going to, because we either grow or we stagnate, and we're in an area, we're not removed from a big metropolitan area. We're in an area that if we choose to stagnate, we'll get passed by and we'll have lots of traffic from everybody driving through from other places. I see it as, and it's been pointed out, there might be other areas for addition to the urban growth boundary, but I see this as a sound addition and something that I can get behind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Tolstead, Johnston, Beach? Yes.
I would agree. Nobody likes growth. Growth is messy, but it's better when it's planned for. We need more ground in queue for development in the future. And if you bring a property in, now you can address all those issues in terms of transportation and drainage and water service and everything else that is involved in it. Bringing this in only allows those things to be put on the table and examined. I think that there could be other options, but this is the one that's in front of us now. It makes relative sense based on everything I've seen. Could there be a better option? Possibly, but This is the one here that we're examining. And I don't see any reason for denial based on what I've seen. So I'll also be supporting bringing this into the URA for those reasons.
Thank you. Anyone else?
So the biggest concern that I've always had with this is that the applicant has always said that it's not farmable ground. Well, to me, most ground is farmable. It's just, what do you do to it? Is it tiled so it's not wet? Do you keep, foliage knocked down so you can farm it? When you look at an overview map of this property, not all of it is farmable. Tile wise, to keep it farmable, I'm not sure if it's tiled or not, but there's a few springs that are popping up. There's no irrigation rights on it. Best use, I think, is going to be allowing this into the urban renewal area. I do believe they technically have been farming it by pulling hay off of it, but very, very low income crops. The other thing, a lot of the comparison properties to bring into the URA are a little bit higher cost with infrastructure, if I'm understanding most of the Newberg Planning Commission's denial report. So this one, other than about 20 acres, I think on the front side, because of the zone that it's in for the water reservoir, is actually in a better area for serviceability. For that, I would vote to bring it into the urban renewal area, knowing that there is massive hurdles to get this to be a buildable property.
Mr. Halsted.
One of the biggest problems with Newberg that our great founders never considered in the past is that Newberg is built on some of the most favorable agricultural lands in the state. We were put here 100 and whatever years ago. It's kind of hard to say we're going to preserve agricultural land when the whole city is sitting on some of the best in the country. I'm going to support and will move to recommend to the city planning commission, the county planning commission, commissioners and whatever, the approval of the urban reserve area.
That's a motion.
Yes, it is.
Okay, we have a motion on the table for approval. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
We have a second, in two different areas. You get those feet. Okay. Mr. Councilor Beach.
I have one
Commissioner
more to
Beach.
add, one more thing to add
Sure.
before we vote. I just I'm not sure if everybody read through the application, but
Oh, yeah.
Yamhill County staff is recommending approval. So,
Yeah.
I just want to read from what basically Ken Friday said. Yamhill County has experienced a tight supply of available housing, leading to rising home prices and high cost of rent. The proposed URA expansion would eventually provide additional housing opportunities for citizens of the community and encourage establishment of housing within the urban area, thereby assisting with the accomplishment of the above goal. So based on the evidence on the record, Yamhill County Planning staff recommends that the request for expansion of the urban reserve area to include the 95.3 acres of land be approved. So just in case somebody didn't read through the whole thing, Yamhill County is the planning
Support.
department's wanting to support it, so.
Okay, so we have a motion and second on the table to approve. This would be 2023-23 be the resolution, I believe. And we do this by roll call vote. Fee?
Okay. Jeff Musall,
Yes.
Kit Johnson,
Yes.
Alan Halsted,
Yes.
Brett Beach,
Yes.
Bill Rosacker,
Yes.
Ken Summers.
Yes. Okay, with that, we'll close the public hearing and move back to. Whoops, wrong one here. Any other items from staff?
None.
None. Okay. Items from any of the commissioners? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Don't we need to be picking, or applications for new commissioners?
No, at this juncture, the city of Newberg will need to work to find the Newberg citizen to be on the commission.
Okay.
And then we have the alternate to the planning commission membership. So the way the bylaws are written, the Newberg Planning Commission has their primary person and alternate person. So those are on the city side, and the mayor and I will have to
Okay.
work through that with the city recorder. County, you're all good.
All right. So no other business discussion? We had a motion to adjourn and a second, I believe, Commissioner Halsted. Okay. Mayor Halsted, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. We adjourn at 7:17 PM.